It takes a lot more work than you might think to hold an election. Here in Shelby Township, the Clerks Department takes responsibility of that task. The Shelby Township Clerks Department usually starts working on elections well before many voters know who they can vote for. 3 months in advance, they start to update voter files to keep the information current. Absentee ballot applications are sent out to a permanent list of over 12,000 voters who meet the criteria to vote by absentee ballots. That criteria includes, but is not limited to, being 60 years of age or older, being away from your community during the time of the election, if you are physically unable to attend the polls, or if you are an election worker who can't get to your home polling station.
When those people get those ballots, they vote at their own convenience, comfortable at home. After 2, 3, 4 days, we start getting them back. So right now we getting bulk of our ballots back. I would say about 200-300 ballots a day are returning already. So we send 12,200 ballots out. We expect to get back about 95 or 98% back. Not everybody votes those ballots. Some people change their mind and they go to actually vote on election day in person. So when they show up in person, that absentee ballot is on record. We spoil that. We're not spoiled, but we remove that number from the computer, and we issue them different ballot, a new ballot, so they can vote right there on the spot. People can return those ballots all the way to election day at 8 o'clock. They can drop it off at our nice, beautiful green box outside, or they can actually, many people want to come by and say hi and do this in person. They drop them off at my office. There's a little opening on the counter, and they drop off. And then at the same time, they ask a lot of questions. They, where do I sign? Did you date it? Did you sign it? So they making sure that absolutely their ballots are in good shape. We get all those ballots together, and then on election day, those 12,000 or so ballots are counted. I got a group of people coming in. We call them AV Counting Board. There's about 26 people. They come in here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they process those ballots all day. At the end of the day, after 8 o'clock, we run the numbers. We don't know who voted for who. We don't know how anybody voted. But at 8 o'clock, we run the tape on our machines, and those machines will push the button, and they give us the number.
Of course, the skills learned by the Clerks Department staff and election volunteers isn't common knowledge, because there is a lot more to modern elections here in the United States than a locked ballot box.
It takes a lot of work, a lot of preparation, a lot of training, making sure the machines are tested, making sure that all our inspectors are properly trained, what to do and how to handle those ballots on election day. Everything is done by the book. Everything is up to date, and everything is transparent. There's nothing hidden. Somebody came in the other day, and this was a new one, shocked me that we don't supposedly count those ballots until there's a tie. It's not true. Every vote counts. Absentee ballot counts just like they would vote on election day, except they get their ballots in an envelope, and at the polling locations they get their ballots in the folder. That's the only difference. It takes a lot of work, a lot of preparation. Everything has to be recorded, everything has to be checked off, and everything has to work properly for us on election day.
In keeping things running properly, the election workers and the Clerks Department protect the right of Shelby Township voters to a fair, transparent, and mistake-free election process, making every vote count, while at the same time making things convenient as possible.
We are very vigilant. For instance, if somebody spills coffee on their ballot at home, or somebody makes a mistake and checks off the wrong candidate, they come back to our window, and we spoil that particular ballot, and we issue them a new ballot with the new number. So they still vote only one time, but that first ballot becomes spoiled. They can do that, and a lot of people do. We have a little less in November spoiled ballots than in August, because August is partisan election and people cross the party line and everything else. But right now, for instance, a lot of people, and I say a lot, it's maybe 20, 50 people. For instance, they change their mind. They watch commercial and they already voted for a candidate, and something comes to their mind and said, I hate that candidate, I wish I would never voted for him. They can still come to the window and request another ballot and revote that, not the same ballot. We'll spoil the first one, we'll give them another one. We get a lot of those people walking up to the window and said, I screwed up, I marked the wrong candidate, I did not want to vote for that person, I don't like him anymore because of the TV commercial. They get another ballot. They get another chance. We have a lot of experience in my office. I got a great group of people that have been trained and educated and well versed in election laws and everything else. I've done this for a few years now, so I can brag a little bit about my experience. But the main thing is a team. We are a team, and on election day, everything has to click for me. Everything has to work properly, 100%. I don't get to redo elections. I get one shot at elections, so it better be perfect, and they are. First of all, three elements to successful election. First is the hardware. That means these machines that we're looking at, that I'm surrounding by, they have to be tested, they have to work properly, and they have to perform 100%. The second element is human element. It's the over 300 inspectors and chairs and co-chairs and folks that are operating my laptops and everything else. That has to work 100% as well. So what we do, there's a lot of training goes into this. People don't see that, people don't know that. We do that quietly, but we have training sessions for those people. Sometimes twice a day. Sometimes I think 6 to 8 sessions. So everybody has opportunity, and everybody every 2 years must be retrained. So we give these people the most current and most updated information. So when they are out there, they are representing my office. They speak, they are my face out there. They speak on my behalf. And what I train my workers, I make sure, and I keep reinforcing that they better be nice to my bosses on election day, because the voters are my bosses. They come in to see me once or twice a year, and I want them to get a service with a smile. I want them to have an efficient service and at the least possible cost. We do everything a conservative way. I don't cut corners just for the sake of cutting corners, but if I can save some money for taxpayers, we're doing that as well. For instance, the AV counting machines, I had an opportunity to buy one machine and get another one free. So I got two beautiful machines which are $35,000 worth, but I bought one and the township bought one, and I got one for free, which is for half a price. And those machines are very productive. They're very efficient. They're very fast, and they're very accurate. The third element is the software. Now the software is out of my control. It's the company that sets up the program for us. The county is overseeing those applications. At the end of the day, all the reports, everything goes to county clerk, and this is when everything is out of my hands and is turned over to the county. They maintain that software, and then you hear at 8:30, 9 o'clock, you hear all the results, who won, who lost, and everything else, and this is when we can breathe a lot easier at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because basically all the heavy lifting is done. We go back, we do the paperwork. I got a group of people, about 18 or 20 people. They are at the counter, checking everything off, preparing the paperwork. And then at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I have to drive those reports to the county personally. So when everything is nice, when nice is settled, so candidates are celebrating, other candidates are you're crying somewhere in a corner. I still have a lot of work to do as a clerk, and then we come back the next day. In 2-3 days, we got to clean up the office, make sure that we put everything away, all the machines are locked up, and all the paperwork is completed, and then everything is put away till next election.
So the next time you think about how busy you are and what a hassle it can be to go out and vote, think of the hardworking men and women who help make it so you not only have the opportunity to do so, but that they're doing their best to make your vote count.